Welcome to Unmasked, How 2020 Changed an Entire Generation of Young Landscape Professionals. A quick thank you to our sponsors. We have Kramer Tree Specialists, Midwest Ground Covers, Midwest Trading, Wilson Nursery and Landscape Supply, Russo Power Equipment, Schmedig Landscape Company, and Siebert. Before we get started in the event, I wanted to share some information off the Deloitte Global Millennial Survey. Deloitte is a global consulting firm that provides audit and assurance, consulting, financial advisory, risk advisory, tax, and related services to select clients. The survey had the unique perspective of straddling the COVID pandemic. It is the most complete survey to demonstrate the impact of the pandemic on young working professionals. Personal impacts. 48% of young professionals said they are stressed all or most of the time, women reporting higher stress levels than men. The three highest sources of stress are their career and prospects, the welfare of their family, and their long-term financial future. Some more personal impacts. The pandemic has increased the level of personal responsibility for young professionals. 76% said the pandemic made them more sympathetic to people around the world. 76% inspired them to take positive action to improve their own lives. 75% are more sympathetic to the needs in their local communities. Professional impact and trends. Employment trends. 69% feel having an option to work from home would relieve stress. 64% would like to work from home more frequently. 59% said their employer trusts them in a remote environment. 51% felt they would bring their true self to work while working from home. Only 49% received any assistance or training on how to work more effectively remotely. Professional impact on retention. What are employers doing to retain employees? 71% are creating a more diverse and inclusive working environment. 69% having a positive impact on local communities. 69% providing more information on financial performance and profits. 67% are providing a motivating and stimulating working environment. And 66% directly addressing employee satisfaction. Employer report card. How did your employer do in relationship to the pandemic? 67% thought their employer provided clear information about the pandemic at regular intervals. 67% thought they were pleased with the actions their employer took. 67% felt their employer put in measures such as flexible working hours, sick leaves, etc. to help support employees. 64% of employer crisis response helped us to continue with minimal disruption. 62% thought their employer's actions made them want to stay long term. 58% thought their employer took actions to support their mental well-being during this time. Loyalty. Percent of millennials who expect to leave in the next 2 years. Back in 2018, this was 43%. In 2019, we had 49%. In 2020, 31%. The disruption to the job market has solidified employee loyalty for now. Job loyalty rises when business address employee needs of diversity, inclusion, sustainability, and reskilling. Consumer impact and loyalty. 70% of younger workers will make a special effort to patronize smaller local businesses. 60% will support national brands who take care of their workforce and positively impact society. 38% have deepened relationships with businesses that improve the environment. 22% have lessened a relationship with a supplier because of their political beliefs. 12% also deepened the relationship for the same reason. Okay, now we're going to head out into our breakout rooms. And just a reminder, here are the topics. How did 2020 impact your day-to-day job? Do you feel like an adult professional? And leveraging your professional relationships and networking. Thanks again and enjoy the breakout rooms, everyone.
Our topic in this room is going to be how did 2020 impact your day-to-day job? So one thing to kind of think about is comparing from, we're trying to not say COVID because everybody's a little tired of that word. And typically when we're talking about COVID, it comes with a negative, kind of negative sense behind it. So COVID did present some kind of good routines that we were able to apply this year versus maybe so much in the past. So one thing to kind of bring up to open conversation is employer and employee flexibility. So with the situation in 2020, we obviously had to minimize how many people were in a given space on day-to-day operation. So kind of working from home, not coming into the office from, let's say, 9 to 5, gave you some availability to manage your day a little bit more freely. Sometimes you can kind of feel a little bit overworked or trapped working from home. Just kind of interested in everybody's experience this year.
In my particular situation, I manage kind of some inside sales and some yard folks, as well as some individuals who are in outside sales and can kind of work remotely. So I know for me, that was kind of one of the challenges, right? Is that I've got those two groups, and inevitably to continue to operate our operation, there are going to be some people who have to come into the office, and kind of the direction was those folks that can work from home to be able to do that. So I think that was one of my main challenges. First, just kind of how do you manage folks who are totally working remotely, but also in just navigating that situation where, some employees are saying, hey, why am I the guy who's got to come in versus someone who's able to work from home. So that's something that I kind of faced. And then even with myself, right, I was kind of presented the option, you can work from home if you're able to, or come in. So not only am I kind of trying to navigate that for employees, but also for myself, what's the best situation for me? So that was definitely something I kind of came up against, I would say.
Do you feel like an adult professional? And I think that's a question that doesn't get often enough, because I think we all kind of struggle with this a little bit. I know myself, do I feel like an adult? No. Do I feel like a professional? More and more every year as I try to grow in the industry and continue to learn different things and push myself out of the comfort zone is a really big one as well. But, I guess I'd go around, and I asked around my whole shop too, and we have a range of people a little younger than me, much older, into their 60s, 50s, whichever you want. And nobody once said, yes, they feel 100% like an adult. Every single one of them said, now I still have more to learn. I look at myself in the mirror, some of the older guys, and I say, where's that kid I used to know? I don't know him anymore. But yeah, so that was just one of the fun topics. And the other one that I really like in our group is a topic that we like to talk about, which is avoiding burnout. So I'd pass it along to the group if anybody wants to chime in on that.
I mean, I feel like if you take things too seriously and too much like an adult, you're gonna burn out faster. I think, especially this last year. I mean, if you took everything to heart and every hit that was dealt to you, it would have been a tough year. I think all of us kind of got a little better at letting stuff kind of roll off our back and try to take a little bit more youthful approach to some of the problems we were facing. At least that was kind of the culture I tried to have, here at the nursery. And I think that showed even more last year of how important kind of culture and teamwork is within an organization.
I would agree 100%.
The bills have me feeling like an adult, but working here at Kramer, I do not feel like an adult. Just because I started right out of high school. I started working here right out of high school, and my dad works here, so it ended up itself. I mean, I can't feel like an adult with my dad being here. So just everybody, like I said, I started young, so everybody kind of see me as a kid here, and they kind of saw me progress within the company. So they kind of treat me a little different just because, I'm the younger one. They kind of try to mentor me and put me under their wing. So that kind of, they pamper me a little bit. So that kind of makes me, not feel like an adult.
Hey, you got to capitalize on it, Jose. I'm in a family business myself, 15 years deep now, and people do love to share their knowledge, right? You're the younger guy, they soak it up, use it, that's all free advice, and it's not easy. You got to pay your dues harder than everybody else. I get it.
Oh yeah. And I'm trying to, but so far so good.
Good to hear.
I guess let's go around real quick, and aside from maybe Zoom calls, are people doing anything for networking these days? Anything different? How are you staying in contact with old, folks, and how are you meeting new people? Maybe start it off with Greg.
For me, actually, it's been a lot a lot different because, you know, as a purchasing manager for McAdam, I would go around to nurseries. Probably I'd go to a different one sometimes every week, sometimes twice a week. I mean, just going around seeing what's looking fresh and what's looking good. And I didn't do that at all last year. So it was a big difference for me. It was a lot more talking to people on the phone, asking for pictures a lot more. So
Yeah, for sure. And it has been a lot more Zoom and Microsoft Teams. Internally with the company, that part has been good. You're not driving to the shop for an hour meeting. Now you can just do it when we do it via Teams, but now you can just do it in your truck, wherever you're at home. That part I don't think is going to go away so much. I think we're going to reduce our in-person meetings with our sales force and staff probably by 50%, just because it makes more sense. Why pay a sales force and mileage and fuel to drive to a shop when their work is actually out there in the field?
So if we can't, meet in person like we used to, are any of you leveraging your social media accounts to make new connections?
I mean, we've definitely been putting out a lot. I mean, just trying to keep our Facebook and our Instagram and those type of things just jam-packed with, work photos, befores and afters, and guys working, and drone videos and things like that, and just boosting and pouring dollars into, being out in front of customers. And it's really seemed to work. I mean, it was a good year for everyone, I hope. But yeah, I mean, our phones just kept ringing, and people would say, oh, we saw this beautiful patio you were working on at the neighbor's house, or on Facebook, or on YouTube, or whatever. And it just seemed like a good place to be putting money.